Hi, boys and girls. Once again, I'm teacher Regan. Welcome to Easy Elimu, where learning is simplified. Today, we are going to discuss natural numbers. Natural numbers. Before that, I would like to bring to your attention that we have different types of numbers actually. But at our level, we'll only discuss natural numbers. And of course, under natural numbers, we have other types of numbers that we shall be discussing. But just for your information, you need to appreciate that apart from natural numbers, we have different types of numbers. We have natural numbers. We have natural numbers. We have integers. We have rational numbers. Rational numbers. Rational numbers. We have irrational numbers. Irrational numbers. We have what we call real numbers. Real numbers. Then we can also talk of complex numbers. Complex numbers. So these are different types of numbers that we have. Each and every type of number here will be discussed at different level. So you realize that one of them is just a bigger set of all the numbers. But at our level, we are only going to discuss the natural numbers. Are we together? So with time, as you continue learning, you'll get to know what integers are, what rational numbers are, what irrational numbers are, real and complex numbers. So allow me to go straight away to natural numbers. Rational numbers. So introduction. Maybe someone can tell us what natural numbers are before I get to tell you. Yeah, you have to contribute. Someone to tell us what natural numbers are? Okay. Okay, in simple terms, you can say natural numbers. In simple terms, you can say natural numbers. Natural numbers are the counting numbers. The counting numbers. Counting. These are the counting numbers, the numbers that we use to count. You want to count the number of children in a class, the number of buses in your school. You want to count the number of houses in your estate, the number of students in a school, the census, the population of a country, etc., etc. We use natural numbers to represent different quantities in our day-to-day life. Are we communicating? Yeah, you want to represent the amount of money you have, the amount of shoe pairs that you have, and so many other things. So whenever you quantify anything that is real or concrete, we use natural numbers to represent it. So examples, for example, let us have examples of natural numbers. Examples of natural numbers. Yes, Paul? 0, not really. 0 is not a natural number. And that's why whenever we are counting, we start from 1. We don't start from 0. Because 0, yeah, it is a number. Later on, you'll realize where 0 belongs. But as far as natural numbers are concerned, these are strictly counting numbers. Whenever you want to count, where do you start? Do you start from 0? No, we don't start from 0. So our first natural number for that matter becomes 1. So we can have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, all the way up to positive infinity. All the way up to positive infinity. In other words, you cannot have a particular number. This list is not terminating. It is infinite. It goes on and on and on forever. So all those numbers are natural numbers. Are we together? Good. So let us write that natural numbers are further grouped into three categories, i.e., what are the three categories of natural numbers? The three categories of natural numbers. So allow me to draw something like a flow chart to represent the three categories of natural numbers. So if we have natural numbers here, we can have the three categories of the natural numbers here. So here we have odd numbers, odd natural numbers, even natural numbers. Then here we can have prime natural numbers. So these are the three main categories of natural numbers that we are going to discuss at this juncture, or rather, as far as natural numbers are concerned. So allow me in this first session to concentrate on odd numbers. Odd numbers. Odd numbers. Odd numbers. Once again, this is not the first time you are hearing of odd numbers. You have discussed odd numbers, I guess, in grade 4, 5, and 6. So it is a common thing, it's something you are familiar with. And here we are just, we are getting to know that actually these odd numbers are natural numbers. What are odd numbers, Irene? Someone tell us, what are odd numbers? Good. So these are numbers. Remember, behold, most of us, whenever they are asked to define odd numbers, we normally say that these are numbers that cannot be divided by 2, or numbers that are not divisible by 2. I want to tell you that that is not right. Assuming at home, your mom or your dad gives you 150 shillings. We all know that that's not really. Let me use something like, we all enjoy pizza. You have 3 pieces of pizza, and you want to share between you and your brother. Just because 3 is an odd number, will you share it or not? Yes? Will you share? Yes, you will share. You will find a way of sharing 3 pieces of pizza. Yet that's an odd number. So you can imagine if you say that odd number is a number that cannot be divided by 2, or is not divisible by 2. That is wrong. So what is the best definition of odd numbers? Yes, Paul? Good. So odd numbers, these are numbers that cannot be divided by 2 completely. The most important word here is completely. Without this word, then your definition is not meaningful. 2 can actually divide them, but there will always be a remainder. Or you can strike or odd numbers, you can say or odd numbers are numbers that when divided by 2, there must be a remainder. Examples. So whenever you divide an odd number by 2, there must be a remainder, but that number is divisible by 2. Examples. Yes, Irene? The first odd number, 1, good. We have 1. Next, 3. We have 3. Next, let's maybe give example between 1 to 20. We have 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, 13, 15, 17, and 19. So these are the odd numbers between the interval 1 to 20. The odd numbers between the interval 1 to 20, we have 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, all the way up to 19. And we have said these are numbers that when you divide by 2, there must always a remainder. For example, say 7 divided by 2. You will not say that this is not possible. You have to show us that actually this is an odd number. Why? Because whenever you divide it by 2, there is a remainder. So we have, let me use the simplest method you discussed in grade 4, grade 3, all the way back there. So I'll draw 7 balls. Then to divide by 2, in other words, you have to group the 7 balls in groups of 2, 2, 2, and know how many groups of 2 can you obtain from a group of 7. So this is my first group, second group, third group. The remaining number of balls cannot give me a group of 2. They are actually less than 2, 1 ball. So I'll say this implies that 7 divided by 2 is 3 remainder 1. Or rather, you can write this 3 remainder 1 over 2. Or 3.5. So you will realize that whenever you divide an odd number by 2, there is always a remainder. But the math is actually divisible. Maybe someone might ask you, which type of number do you get when you add an odd number to an odd number? Which type of number do you get when you add an odd number to an odd number? Let us pick any random pair of odd numbers. Random pair of odd numbers. For example, which one do you pick? Yes, Rose, which one do you pick? 7 and 9. Okay, let's pick 7 and 9. 7 and 9. So let's add 7 and 9 and see which type of number we are getting if we add them. So that is 16. We cannot actually make any inference from a single example. Can we pick another pair? Maybe? Yes, Paul? 15 and 17, correct. Let's have 15 and 17. So that is 15 and 17, you get 32. Let's keep on trying. You can pick any odd number even within the interval 1 to 100. Someone give us another odd number. Yes, Christine? 23 and 41. Okay. Let's have 23 and 41. So that is 23 plus 41. What do you get? You're going to get 64. So if you keep on doing this, 1 and 3, you get 4, 5 and 7, you get 12, 9 and 11, you get 20, 13 and 15, you get 18, 17 and 19, you are getting 36. So what can you conclude? Someone give us a conclusion there. Yes, Jacqueline? What do you conclude? What can we conclude about odd numbers? The summation of odd numbers? Yes, someone? Yes, Jacqueline, what can you tell us about the summation of odd numbers? Correct. So from this, we can deduce that. From the examples below, we can deduce that the sum of two odd numbers gives an even number. The sum of two odd numbers gives an even number. So that is all I wanted us to to discuss about odd numbers. Maybe you can take this exercise, identify or list, exercise, list all the odd numbers between 1 to 100. That is the interval. That means 1 is the infimum, then 100 is the supremum. In other words, you cannot have a number below 1 and a number above 100. Otherwise, if you do not have any question, that marks the end of our session on odd numbers.